Hi, this is Teresa Jewell from Stony Meadows Alpacas and Stone Mountain Looms, and today we're going to be working with the Flower Loom, and we came up this loom as to add to your work for embellishments for different woven works or your hats. And as you can see, the flowers come out nice and thick and full. And the reason why they are more full than other flower looms on the market is because our nails are so much higher, so you can really wrap around a lot of yarn on that to create nice full flowers. What I have here is two flowers that I've completed, and you can see I put felt backing on them. And one I have a barrette, which I think would be really cute for sale at one of our events for a little girl that maybe goes by. But also I have a pin that, and you can add this flower to a hat or a purse or a scarf, use it as a shawl pin. All those I think are great ideas. In order to create that, all I did was created a circle with paper and traced it over felt, and then sewed the barrette or pin on first, and then added it to the flower. And these bar pins and barrettes you can get at Walmart. They're just like, I think they're under $3 a piece. But they work really great. Well, today what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another flower, and I have this hat that I knitted that's been in my store for quite a while. It's alpaca on the one side and acrylic on the other, and it's a child size hat. I've had it in my store for too long and it hasn't sold. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a flower, and I'm going to put it right on top. So instead of a pom-pom, I'm going to put flowers on the top of my hats that aren't selling, my children's hats, and I think that will just add just a little bit of something to the hat, and maybe we'll get some sales on those. And of course, once I do that, I'm going to mark my price up $5 more, because each of these flowers I sell for $5 a piece. So if I'm adding them onto a hat, I'm going to jack that price up of the hat $5 more to accommodate the extra work I put into that. So we're going to begin, and as you can see, the Flower Loom has two sets of nails, center and the outside, and that's how you create the larger petals on the outside and the middle. And there's an anchor nail. So what I'm going to do is my first color, I'm going to begin with my outside color, and that I want to be gray. I'm going to insert the end of my yarn through my flower loom, make a slip knot, and put that right on my anchor. And that's there because I'm going to be pulling on this, and I want that anchored down nice and tight. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to begin wrapping around the nails. And you can see I'm going over those middle nails, but I'm not worried about those middle nails too much. Just kind of pretend those middle nails aren't there. And I'm going to go around this about 4 times to create a nice fluffy flower. And I kind of turn the loom as I go. Until I have about 4. If you miss one, it's not a big deal. Just keep going. Alright, that's about 4. So now what I'm going to do, I'll push that down, and you can see I'm holding with my thumb, because if I let go of that, it's all going to kind of unravel. So you want to, the last nail that you do, you want to make sure you're holding it on. And I have 2 pins here. I have one yarn needle and I have one for thread needle for sewing it on. So I'm just going to cut down there, and I'm keeping my tension so I'm not losing my end. Thread my needle, and I'm sorry if I'm going quickly. I don't want to lose out of battery power as we're going. And I'm threading that right through the middle. Pulling that tight, releasing my needle, turning it over, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to lightly secure this to my anchor thread, just to kind of keep it out of my way and so it doesn't unravel. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my middle flower petals. Again, I'm going to thread my needle, and pull the end of my string right through the middle of my flower, bring it out, and when I have my end, again create a slip knot and put that right on my anchor, nice and tight. Now I can begin my middle petals, and you can start anywhere. And again, I'm probably going to go around 3 or 4 times because I want a nice full flower. And if you need a little more room, just push it down. And again, if you accidentally skip one, don't worry about it, don't overthink it. It'll turn out just fine. There we go. That looks nice and full. Now, I'm going to cut my thread again. And thread my needle. And bring it through right in the center. And it's nice to have a nice long needle. And you don't want to use a plastic needle for this because they really don't. You really need a nice strong needle. And again, I'm going to flip it over and just lightly tie it to my anchor, just to keep it out of the way. And the reason why I'm doing this, you can see I'm bringing them all this way, is because now I have to secure all my petals together. And this is my middle, and you can see here how my middle is a different color. This is my middle, and this right here, the center of your flower, that's what's going to hold your whole flower together, and that's what I'm doing now. And I do like to use acrylic for this part, only because I really yank when I do this. And I know if I use, I'm going to go up through the back like this. And I know if I use alpaca to do this, I would probably break it because I yank way too hard. Now you can also secure that to get it out of your way. Now what I'm going to do, I'm nice and secure and I can pull, that's not going to go anywhere. I'm going to go in between each petal and I'm riding my needle on the wood, finding that hole and coming out the back. And I'm pulling nice and tight, bringing the needle back through the middle, giving it a nice pull, riding it along the wood in between the petals. And this is what is going to secure your petals together. You're sewing your whole flower up. Now you could do this all in one color. You don't have to do as many color switches as I did. But I would like it to match that cute little hat, and we have gray and blue and white. But you could do this whole thing with the same thread. But I like the color changes. You could also make a smaller flower by not doing the first step and just doing the smaller flower in the middle and not doing this gray portion. And that would give you a nice little flower that you could put on a button. And let's see, my mother is filming for us today. Mom, how much time does it say on that we have spent doing this? Can you see it on there?
20 seconds right now.
Well, no, we've been filming for longer than 20 seconds.
11:28.
11 minutes and 28 seconds. Okay, so in the beginning we probably spent about a couple minutes. So let's see, I've probably been making the flower now for 10 minutes. So within 10 minutes you can create a $5 flower. So that's pretty cool. Now what I've been doing is I have a whole kind of bin of yarn of leftover alpaca, just little tiny balls of hand-dyed stuff, and I'm going to go and make a bunch of flowers for my next event. And I think they'll sell really well, just as hair accessories and pins. There we go. Now, of course, if I wanted a little bit more white in there, which I do, I want to show that white a little more. So I'm going to go back in and just hit a couple of these where I want to see a little bit more white, just because now I'm being picky about my flower. Maybe one more time. Okay, now I'm going to take it off. Now I put a lot of tension on my flower. So I'm just taking my needle right off. Now what I'm doing, I find it easier because I do put a lot of tension. This is why I have a there we go. Pop that baby right off. Now I'm going to do the outside petals first. Now my middle. And of course you don't have to put this much tension. I was kind of a beast. There we go. Now she's popping off. Ta-da! And there is my flower. Now what I'm going to do is the back, and all these little ties that I did, I'm not even worried about them, right in the garbage. Now I'm just going to take these, and here's my middle strings. Just going to tie a little knot, just so I know that stays secure. And this I will sew right on the top of my hat. and we'll see how well that sells. Thank you for watching, and if you have any questions, feel free to message me, email me. And this flower loom we are selling out of our store and our website for $25, and you can see it's a great little loom. Thank you so much.